The barbecue party was supposed to be a casual and joyful evening, filled with laughter, food, and the warmth of old friends. I had dressed up nicely, ready to meet everyone and enjoy the gathering with my husband. Everything seemed perfect until his best friend, Daniel, arrived. He looked unusually tense, and I noticed he kept watching me with a heavy expression. I didn't understand why until the moment he decided to speak. As conversations flowed and people shared stories, Daniel suddenly stood up, raising his voice so everyone could hear. He said he had been keeping a secret for too long, and it was time for the truth to come out. The atmosphere changed instantly. Laughter faded, and silence took over. My husband looked at him, puzzled, asking what he meant. That's when Daniel revealed something that shattered the night. He said my husband's wife had been cheating, and the truth was buried since the wedding day itself. Everyone gasped, but my heart nearly stopped when Daniel turned his gaze toward me. He said he had been the one involved, and what's worse, I had become pregnant by him on my wedding night. My husband's face went pale, his hands trembling as he stared at me, unable to process the confession. The crowd at the party was stunned, their shocked whispers spreading like wildfire. I wanted to scream, deny it, or explain, but the truth was, Daniel wasn't lying. It all rushed back in painful clarity, the wedding day, the chaos, and my moment of weakness. I had made the worst mistake of my life, and now it was laid bare in front of everyone, leaving me exposed and ashamed. My husband asked me if it was true, his voice breaking. I couldn't bring myself to answer, but my silence gave him all he needed. Tears blurred my eyes as I remembered that night. I had been confused, overwhelmed by the wedding stress, and Daniel had been there, offering comfort when I should have stayed away. What I thought was a fleeting mistake had turned into a lifetime consequence. Now, with Daniel's confession, my betrayal had been dragged into the open, and there was no way to hide anymore. The barbecue turned into a scene of chaos. Friends who once looked at me kindly now glared with disgust. Some shook their heads, others whispered in disbelief. My husband stood up, shaking with rage, and shouted at Daniel, asking why he would ruin everything like this. Daniel only replied that the truth needed to be told, that living in lies was worse than facing the pain of reality. My husband's eyes turned back to me, filled with betrayal and heartbreak. He demanded to know why I hadn't told him, why I had allowed him to believe that the child was his. I tried to explain, choking on sobs, saying I had been afraid, that I didn't want to destroy him, but my words sounded weak against the weight of what I had done. He couldn't hear me anymore, his heart was too broken. Daniel tried to speak again, claiming he had done the right thing, but my husband lunged at him in fury. Guests rushed to separate them, and I stood frozen, watching my life unravel in a single night. The child I had carried with love and fear suddenly became a symbol of my greatest sin. The father wasn't the man I vowed to love forever, but his best friend, the one he trusted most. When the fight broke up, my husband walked away from me, his face cold and unreadable. I tried to follow to beg for forgiveness, but he raised his hand, telling me not to come closer. His silence felt like 1,000 knives piercing through me. He turned his back and disappeared into the night, leaving me broken in the middle of the party. Daniel, thinking he had done something noble, tried to approach me, but I pushed him away with all my strength. His truth may have freed his conscience, but it destroyed my world. I told him to never come near me again, because I would never forgive him for exposing me like that, not in front of everyone, not in such a cruel way. The guests began leaving one by one, unable to bear the tension. I stood alone, surrounded by half-empty plates, fading laughter, and the heavy weight of disgrace. My husband didn't return that night, and I knew deep down, he might never return to me at all. I had betrayed his love, and the cost was unbearable. In the days that followed, the silence between us grew. He avoided me, speaking only when necessary. The child I carried became a bitter reminder every time he looked at me. I tried to apologize, to explain that I still loved him, but love couldn't erase betrayal. His trust was gone, replaced by a void that no words could fill. And so, the barbecue party that began with joy ended with the collapse of my marriage. I had lost my husband, my dignity, and the life I thought I would have. All because of a single mistake that spiraled out of control, a secret I tried to bury but which returned to destroy me in the most humiliating way possible. My punishment was not only losing him, but living every day with the memory of that night, knowing I had broken the man who once loved me more than anything.